Hello and welcome to the final episode in the Overdose Peak Season Power Series. We've carefully designed this 6-part series for those looking to elevate their peak season game at pace. Every episode, we've shared functional and actionable insights. You can check out all the episodes on our website at overdose.digital/peak season power series. I'm sure you can see the links on the LinkedIn or wherever you're watching it today as well. Definitely go back and check all the other sessions. They've all been fantastic and covered across an amazing array of different topics. For today's session, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Ryan, our Chief Experience Officer and one of the founders of Overdose. So very great to have you here today. I'm Martin. I'm the Shopify guy at Overdose. So we're going to spend the day just talking about how to get your Shopify site absolutely humming for the peak season, which is only a few weeks away. Please, wherever you're watching, you should be able to send questions through. Please do send them through as you're going. We'll try to answer them as we get to them. We've got a few slides to get through, but we're trying to just have a bit of fun today and hopefully give you a few things that will help you get your site humming for the next few weeks' time. So, Ryan, thanks for joining us. Good to have you.
Thanks, Coxie. Appreciate that. I love how reflective your glasses are, that you clearly read that off a script. But completely agree. Peak season's coming up quick. The suggestions that we're going to bring forward are nothing that are too crazy intensive in terms of implementing. So just really keep that in mind, that we are recommending things that you can plug and play as of today almost, to be fair.
Well, that's it. It's probably not the time for us to recommend that you go and shift and lift your ERP integration or change or roll out a complete redesign of your site. So, I think today we've tried really hard to come up with a few things that will hopefully be stuff you can actually go away and action and find a few extra wins to get that extra couple of percentage points on your margins across the break. So, we'll jump in. We've got a few slides. We'll try not to talk to them too much, but we did just pull together a few stats on just what Black Friday, Cyber Monday looks like in the Shopify space. And every year, Shopify are very good at sending out all their big stats afterwards. They've got their live view on across the weekend where you see fireworks going off all over the world for every time there's a sale and stuff like that. The platform last year hit $4.2 million per minute of sales at one point in time. And there's some other impressive stats there as well. The thing that always jumps out at me is Australia is also one of the biggest markets, and I know New Zealand per capita as well is one of the is one of Shopify's biggest platforms. Biggest markets. But I thought I'd include a photo here. That's me from Black Friday last year. And so I just wanted this is to show how great the Shopify platform is that I always clear my day on Black Friday to help with any troubleshooting, last minute technical issues, all that sort of stuff that comes up. Last year on Black Friday, we actually had so few things happening that I actually 2:00 in the afternoon went and mowed the lawn. And that just shows how great and powerful the platform is, and the people that are using it are, I guess, lucky enough that they don't have to worry about that side of things. And if you prepare yourself well, then you should be focusing on the marketing side of things, the last minute promotions, just getting more sales, which is what we've tried to channel today about. And I hope I haven't jinxed myself too badly and we don't have a major site outage or something on Black Friday this year.
Yeah, I hope you don't either. I think just another key call out here when we talk about these statistics is if you actually look at all the other years previous to that, you can see these numbers increase more and more and more. But just bear in mind that consumers are becoming far more accustomed to this peak season as well. So, there comes a lot of preparation to this type of period. So you may see that your Octobers are potentially going to be a little bit more flat than your September, as an example, just knowing that people are getting ready to buy online in this particular period of time.
Absolutely. And so, we've got a couple of tools in here where, that we've seen more and more people starting to use these. I know this one here is one of your favorites, Ryan, order editing. Did you want to talk a little bit about that one?
So if you're on LinkedIn, which you probably are watching this, to be fair, which is a bit silly, but you've probably seen a guy called Hamish floating around your feed, one of the founders of Order Editing. Now, this is an extremely powerful tool, and a tool that when I saw it basically start, I had to get my hands on it. It essentially, what it allows you to do is to edit your order post-purchase. Now, that's really important from the fact that impulsive buying during that holiday period is actually really common, right? People are rushing to make a purchase, as an example, and mistakes happen. So it actually gives you a time period that you can actually define yourself in the application, which allows you to, say, change your address, as an example, right? Maybe you shipped it to your ex-girlfriend's flat or something like that, as an example, which would be bad news. And then also what that actually means is it actually has less liability on your customer service team to have to go and edit all those orders afterwards. So think of it as profitability, and also less resource heavy from your internal team during probably the most stressful time of the year as well. Now, the other side of it is they have last minute upsells, which is a really big thing. So from my UX sort of expertise here is that, we have to, obviously, driving cross sales and upsells is really important. But, if you're going to apply it in the checkout, that could actually cause distraction, therefore cause a lag for people to actually make that purchase. There's no better time to actually try to give them one more product after that sale, because you've already made that sale. So yeah, it's a plug and play type of system, really. And the support team from Order Editing is phenomenal, and they'll basically help you get up and running pretty quickly. So if you haven't heard of it, or if you don't have it, this would be probably my top recommendation during this time period for sure. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'd say anything that adds operational efficiency, I think, is such a game changer, and allows your team to be focusing on things that are actually going to make more money. So that's huge. And I think everything, when you're investing in stuff, if it saves you time, go for it. And a few of the other things will show sort of some time saver stuff as well. Also, the beauty of not just order editing, but also a lot of the newer apps that are coming out in Shopify now is they integrate beautifully with the platform. So, like, for example, with order editing, it integrates nicely with Shopify Flow. So you can use Flow to set up some workflows so that you don't send orders through to your ERP until after the customers had their window to edit their orders. And yeah, you can build that logic within the platform as well, without requiring major changes to all of your integrations and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's really, really powerful.
Sure.
I think this stat you pulled up was a good one, and I've been dropping it everywhere since you told me it the other week.
Yeah, so this stat, just for clarity, is actually from the US and not Australia, but I'm sure there's similarities in our market as well. This is sourced from Qt, who has sourced the statistics from the likes of Adobe Analytics and stuff, so it does seem pretty feasible. But they said approximately about 70% of Cyber Week spending is in 2023 was spent specifically on gifts. So, and I know, talking to many other people in our industries, is they do the same, right? So knowing that you can buy your Christmas gifts up early, there's some considerations in mind that you need to make sure that gifting is somewhat in your experience if it's applicable to your brand.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think there's still little things you can do with relation to that to tweak your site for it. It's obviously too late to go and restructure your site or roll out a new gift card program. But I think there's some really simple things you can do on your site through that customer experience to actually just make sure your site is optimized. I think we've got a slide on GiftNote here, which is one of the apps that's sort of really emerged over the last 12 months that I think is it's really easy to set up and just really makes that gifting experience really, really simple.
Yeah, 100%. So this is like a one-click install on Shopify as well. Potentially you've seen it around in other sort of merchants out there, but it's kind of maybe hard to see in that example there. But what it kind of does is it allows you to, one of the things I really like about it is automate some of your gift messaging as well. So you would see in the checkout, it's actually above those ShopPay logos where you can add a gift message to your order. Now, it has some functionality when you can actually choose when you want to send that message to the recipient via SMS. So as an example, we can integrate with like Starship It or the couriers. And then once that product has essentially arrived to the door, then you can actually send that text message and say, hey, mum, got you a gift, whatever, such and such, and just really get the Stoked levels a little bit higher. The other side of it is that, you can add in things like physical vouchers, paperless vouchers, all those things pretty simply. So if you don't have that functionality at the moment, that's something we'll definitely recommend. And then also just like maybe less relevant as such, but also some pretty powerful analytics around your gifting as well. So you can actually truly understand the value around that gifting revenue too.
Absolutely. And yeah, so what I thought I'd just do is talk through a couple of other things as well, just in terms of stuff you can do that's sort of really quick to do within Shopify, and things that I think maybe some people are not necessarily, you may not have thought of. So one of them is regarding, bringing products to life and, using Tolstoy. This is another one I know you've been a big fan of, Ryan.
Yeah, so we've actually been testing this as well, and we're seeing some really good increase in add to carts and conversion rates from this. So, Tolstoy, essentially, content is key. It's one of our mottos, or definitely in the SEO space, but it definitely increases conversion. So it also just creates this connectivity with the likes of your TikToks, and where a lot of people are spending a lot of time on to actually absorb content as well, where you kind of bring it into your online experience. So they have these things called like PDP stories, essentially. So it's kind of like that see it in action videos below the ads bag button. And you can actually pull through influencer content. You can pull through the likes of your TikTok content, Instagram content, and actually have real-time customers talking about your product at a product level, right? It's super engaging. It really helps boost that engagement on those pages too, but it just really validates the value of that product as well. So yeah, like I said, we've tested this, we've seen some great results. It's a kind of a no-brainer again. One of the other features I really like about it, though, that I don't think necessarily many people know, is it has an integration with emails as well. So you're going to probably see a high abandonment rate in carts because people have the tendency to do a lot of research when they're looking at price comparing, etc., like that. And if you can actually send them an abandoned cart, is on the right-hand side, you can kind of see how you can actually integrate those product videos into your cart abandonment emails too. It transfers them into GIFs, so they still have movement, animation type of situation, but it really helps just bring it to life and give a bit more of a urgency to want to buy than anything.
Yeah, it's come a long way from the old Instagram widgets we used to drop onto sites a few years ago. Like, it's amazing the way it just flows through onto all the different steps of the journey. So yeah, it's definitely worth taking a look at.
Sorry, one more point just to raise on that too, Martin, though, is that like their support is phenomenal. So like a lot of people or merchants are like, oh, it's going to take too long to set up. They'll help automate a lot of these flows for you. So it's not really spend 50 hours to put content in. It can happen in a matter of hours, and then there's just basically process from there to drive it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something, with all the apps that we ever put in our slides and put forward, like support's always the number one thing for me as well. If an app doesn't provide good support, then it's not worth using, because, you need to know that you're going to be able to get a response to stuff. And also a lot of these platforms, they will help you as well. So leverage the apps and their support to help you get stuff set up, because it's the time of year where they're building all their case studies as well to get new people for next year, and that your success is their success as well. So definitely use their support and use their merchant success teams and all of that sort of stuff to get the absolute most out of them. I just wanted to show a couple of things within Shopify now, which I think are some good ways to sort of do things last minute, because I'm sure most people have got most of their plans in place already. One thing is Shopify bundles. So I think, it's something that came out about probably 18 months ago now, and it probably hasn't quite landed in terms of where people are using it yet. But what you can do, essentially, I wanted to sort of put forward two use cases for it, really. One of them is that, for increasing order value. So, it's really easy within the bundles app to actually combine a couple of products and, put a price tag on it, give them a bit of a discount, and make it really easy for the customer to purchase that. Works really well with an email campaign. Really great as a checkout upsell block if you've got that type of stuff. And I might even jump in and just show you how quick and easy it is to make a bundle. The other one too is just with moving more stock as well. So if you've got a really hot selling product and then some stuff that you've got heaps of that you can't get rid of, it's a great way to bundle it off and sell it cheap rather than just trying to sell off the overstocked stuff really cheap. And yeah, it's a good way to get that. I think on the slide earlier it said the average order value on Shopify is $108. Like these are the types of things that hopefully can move it to $115 for you by doing that sort of stuff.
It's also just really quickly like taking advantage of people during this period because they typically have a much higher purchase intent. So they actually have a willingness to spend, and surfacing bundles and things like that, there is actually more of a hook or a catch that you can actually get them involved.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'll just show quickly, if I can get the screen share to work, I'll quickly show you how easy it is to set up a bundle. So I'm just going to go.
Technical.
Right, so I'm just in the bundles app here. So the one that was in my screenshots there already, but it's as simple. Once you install the app, it's really as simple as just creating a bundle. I'm going to call it travel pack. Got a couple of products in my store. I think I've got a blanket here. I've got I'm sure there was a suitcase on here as well. That's why I thought of travel. I'm just going to put in put in a wallet and a watch, even though that's not relevant. But yeah, you can see here you've now got the ability to choose what goes in there. You can choose to make it default to a different quantity if you want, or you can even put quantity as an option on here. I'm just going to keep it very simple so I don't stumble on the demo here. Now you see we've got the travel pack product. You can also use Shopify Magic here to actually generate a description for it. So what have we got? We got a wallet, a watch, and a blanket.
What a combo.
Hope that'll fix my punctuation as well. And here you go. It's created a description for it. We'll just choose a couple of existing images. I'm not going to waste too much time. There's my picture of the suitcase. And you can then set the price for it as well. So we see it puts it to the bundled price. We'll say we're going to sell it for $200 and put a compare at price of $219 on it. And make it published. And then if we're lucky, it'll appear straight away on the store. Here you go. We've now got a product on your store. And so this you can add to cart. It uses all the inventory from all the products that are contained in it. So this is something you can just start selling on your store. You don't need to do any technical implementation. You don't need to worry about any of your integrations because it'll break it down after the order gets placed. It breaks it back down into the 3 child items. And so that's something where if you want to want to look at a new promo, there's something a bit different that you can do. So thought I'd quickly show you that one.
Some pretty funky products that you selected there too.
Yeah, I was playing with some AI tools for setting up my dummy store the other night, and I don't encourage selling any of those items. The next one is the next slide is one that I think it's a really important one. No funky images, unfortunately, on this one. This is actually just a screenshot of one of our clients who I think does a fantastic job of optimizing their checkout all the time, and they're always just making those little tweaks throughout the year to get their checkout really humming. I think with checkout, it's something that, like, I know you spend a lot of time in the data, Ryan. Like, what are the things that really make a checkout perform when you've got huge amounts of traffic going through it?
Simplicity, to be completely honest with you, but also reassurance that you can apply confidence in it. So it's a really interesting question, though, right? Because what I particularly like about what Cass has done, which you're going to talk about, but they underneath their totals, they re-emphasize why to shop with us. So applying those trust signals, right, it does instill confidence for the customers. But then there's also the level where you can take it too far as well, by, say, putting cross-sell or upsells in your checkout. What I can do is like actually cause more thinking, essentially, like, hey, should I buy this other item? I'm not sure whether I should or not yet. Maybe I'll consult with my partner if I'm allowed to spend an extra $100, if that's the way it's going to go. And then we can monitor all that, and we actually just look at the checkout funnel to ensure it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like, Checkout Blocks is an app that, I think most people on Shopify Plus would know about Checkout Blocks. It's free to install on your store, and it does give you great power. Like, it allows you to do things like you can add a quantity picker on, you can add you can add upsell blocks and lots of different messaging. But like you say, the simplicity is the key, and picking a couple of things to inject in your checkout that are going to help guide conversion. And I think, like, to me, the things on this checkout that work really well are just like having some simple value propositions in the bottom right corner there. That's just going to encourage you to complete the purchase. Yes, I think they say that they're a family business with 40 years experience. Those types of things are really helpful. I was on another store the other day where like they're a B Corp, and I think that's something where like that's the type of logo you should just have it somewhere on your checkout, not interrupting the experience. And then, the other piece I think is just even just adding a nice image like you've got at the top here as well. I think we see a lot of very plain checkouts where just like creating that warmth, I think helps a little bit as well. And then other than that, it's just making sure it works and let Shopify do its magic of being a fast, efficient checkout.
I think also just to add, because Shopify checkouts are all the same, right? Very much everyone is very much accustomed to that checkout experience, which is very helpful from a UX perspective and driving conversion. But then it's kind of got to the level now where people just leave the checkout as it is, because don't get me wrong, it works. Why not fix something that's not broken kind of situation? But you kind of forget about the likes of checkout blocks that you can actually put in, value props or trust signals, etc.
No, absolutely. Like, I always see the social media posts come up when Shopify launches a big global brand on Shopify. And first thing I do is go to the checkout to see what they're doing with it. And so often I get there and it's just the same old plain old checkout that everyone's using. They don't really do a lot with it because it is so trustworthy. And and I think the way extensibility is now, like, it's great that so many apps integrate with it where you can drop in a block. Like loyalty, for example, is a great example, which actually is on this screenshot, where if you're logged in, you can claim your loyalty voucher on the checkout. That's really powerful and important because it adds to the experience. But there's also, I was playing around with some upsell apps the other day, and they just add, as much as it's something that's been a long requested feature, now that it's here, it actually, you realize it kind of is a bit clunky and makes it just gives people a reason to drop off the checkout as a procrastinator.
I think another one just to call out here is the instant payments too, Marty, like Shop Pay, Apple Pay, GPay as an example. Like it's kind of a click of a button for you to essentially put live on the checkout. And if you're not doing so, honestly, take advantage of it. Just do it, because we do know that people prefer some different payment methods, and it streamlines some of that process for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's also worth just taking a look at go into your checkout editor in Shopify too, and you might actually find some of your existing apps already have checkout blocks that you could be using. Like the Yotpo toolkit, I know, is great like that. They've got quite a lot of different things that you can drop in that are all, things that can potentially enhance your journey.
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to touch on was, just around discounts, because that's obviously the other thing. Everyone obviously is always setting up lots of discounts for the peak season, and quite often I know the type of thing that happens is, sales, maybe they're not going quite as well, or even on the flip side, if sales are going really well, the CEO of the company will still be saying, well, what can we do to get more out of it? So there's always last minute promos and stuff that people need to create. So I just thought I'd put some tips together on just how to make last minute promotions and how to make them successful. And probably the big one here, I think, is just, again, keeping it really simple and using what's out of the box. I think, Shopify's automatic discounts and discount codes do have a huge amount of features and options in them. But what we often find is you can easily get caught out by trying to do something that's 10% different to what's out of the box that won't necessarily improve your conversion of the promotion, but ends up being a heap of work and a heap of opportunity to create bugs. So I think that's the key, is to set up your promotion within Shopify before you do any marketing collateral for it, to see what's possible. And then I think the content's the big part of it, and you'll probably talk to this, like just making sure that if you've got a Facebook ad running for 2 for $60 t-shirts, that the customer lands on a 2 for $60 t-shirts page. They see a badge on the product that says 2 for $60 t-shirts. They see the message in the cart. They see the message in the checkout. Like, I think, I studied advertising a long time ago, and remember that was like the first thing that hit me was reach. Repetition and reach is the two things that hit hard, and to me that's the key as well. Just making sure you got that clean, clear, consistent messaging across your entire site.
It needs to be from start to finish, right? When you see that promo, and then every touch point all the way through to purchase, it needs to continue.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, it's easy to do as well with just set up a duplicate of your Shopify theme, put all the content in there, have it ready to go. And even like we see sometimes people will have like 3 or 4 themes lined up, ready to go across that weekend. So they've got their Friday, their Saturday, their Sunday, their Monday theme, and each one can have a different color scheme or some different banners. And yeah, just go, and you can almost sort of hack that theme a bit to just have it ready for content wise for that period. And then, yeah, make sure you've got it all queued up, ready to go. Now, I know we're getting close to time as well, so I think I was meant to do this 10 minutes ago. So if you've got any questions, fire them through and we'll try and answer them. The other thing I was just going to throw in here as well, just as a bit of a wild card, there's store credit available in Shopify now too, which I think is a really interesting one where, if you're looking for a different way to give people free stuff, or like allow them to a different type of promotion, the store credits one I think is worth trialing out this year, along with your discount codes and gift cards and that type of stuff. Anything else from you, Ryan, that you see people doing or think that people should be considering as a last minute addition to their promos?
No, I actually kind of disagree. Like, I think the store credit is quite an interesting approach to take, and something to definitely test and trial, right? You could always, I guess, just a suggestion coming into peak season, say if you have a sale coming up soon, prior to this actual busy period, is that you could always test and see how it actually goes, and then see what that turn is, and then apply it to that peak season.
No, absolutely. And I think the other thing which I think is really important as well is to keep a really good record of what you've done and what worked and what didn't, because we so often have conversations after Black Friday weekend where people will say that they did this and they'd like to do it this way next year, and they'd like to have this and like to have that, but sometimes it can get lost. It can, as much as it comes around quickly, it can feel like stuff can get lost over the journey. So doing a really good debrief and starting to plan out for next year as soon as you get through the peak season, I think is a really important one as well, and something that people who do that already set up for this year's campaigns by now and ready to go.
For sure.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. We just kind of got one question come in. Martin and Ryan, any good ideas to push for shipping optimization during peak season? Do you want to start on that?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the question, Mazil. So I think probably the big one is, again, it's just making it really clear and having it, again, that repetition of messaging and not giving the customer any concern that it's not going to work. Like having your free shipping bar on your cart, having the messaging when you land on the site, making sure the checkout doesn't call your shipping rate something obscure. If people are getting free express shipping, make sure it says that everywhere and keep the messaging really clear. It's not the time to get over complex with the logic and business rules behind it either. Just keep it simple. Make sure that every customer is going to get the offer, and go from there.
My only tip for this is be hyper aware what your competitors are doing. Free shipping during this period is actually a really key driver to conversion, by the way, even if you're not providing it. There's some huge statistics on it. So if your competitors are potentially providing free shipping without a threshold, you may be losing some market share or some conversion because of that as well.
No, absolutely. All right, well, we've hit the hour, and we've got through most of what we're going to talk about today. I hope that, you've taken away a few tips from today. It's just been a pleasure talking with you, Ryan, about this stuff. I know we could talk about it all day. All the videos and stuff are available on the Overdose website. We'll share the link, I'm sure, in the LinkedIn feed and all of that sort of stuff. There's been some great stuff throughout the whole series, and across all the different areas of running a successful e-com business for peak season. So thank you for everyone who's tuned in, and thanks, Ryan, and good luck to everyone for hopefully a bumper sort of November, December period.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, guys.